anticipation and celebration. Who's got some of that to pass around? From what I'm reading lately, there's not a whole lot of anticipation and celebration in the life of a retired person. And I wonder why that is. So I got curious about that, started thinking about that, started wondering about that. Further, I started wondering, why is anticipation so important in our lives, and what do we do to create it for ourselves? I'd like to tell you a little story. About 20 years ago, I was the sponsor of a new Mardi Gras crew, Krewe. It's a big thing down in Louisiana. It's essentially a social club. The bigger clubs, the bigger Mardi Gras crews have 300, 400 members, and they're all usually very wealthy people. And this is also where they announce their debutantes every year. But regular people wanted to have a crew. And these were young people, a good 20 years younger than me. And I agreed to sponsor them because I gave them the idea, hey, start your own crew. Why do you got to sit around and wait for everybody else, right? So we start the crew and start having the meetings. And we come to the point, because you have to put this in your bylaws down there, of what the expected dress is going to be for the annual ball. Because a Mardi Gras crew hosts an annual ball during Mardi Gras. Now, come to find out, most of these young people had an aversion to getting dressed up. So we had to talk about that. I said, well, you know what you're missing here? You're missing the anticipation. You're telling me you're going to throw your overalls on over a T-shirt and show up at the Mardi Gras ball? How is that any different than anything you do every day of your life? And they kind of looked at me stunned. I said, the whole point of having something like a Mardi Gras ball is the anticipation of planning it, organizing it, and then personally at home, preparing yourself for it, going and looking for the dresses, going to try on the tuxes. The anticipation is what gives everything the spark. If you remove getting dressed up to go to it, you've lost your anticipation. It's just another thing you're going to go do with your friends. So why spend all this money to do just another thing you could do in your own carport at your own home? They looked at me a little stunned. Well, okay, I guess we're going to get dressed up for this because we don't want to miss that. So what I'm coming to is it just seems sometimes in retirement, we have lost the glory of anticipating. Now, some people would say they anticipate the dread of retirement. They dress retirement in dread. Some people might want to think of anticipation as an opportunity to find out more about themselves and find out they can be actually eager about living life. So how do we create anticipation in, day out mundacity of living? I'm anticipating taking a hot soak this afternoon in my new bathtub. So I'm building some anticipation about it. I'm thinking about what music I'll have playing in the background. I'm thinking about maybe turning the lights off, I'm thinking about something I'm going to do in the future that brings me joy and pleasure, which is really the whole freaking point of having something to anticipate. I'm anticipating going to shop for a new 3-wheeler tricycle. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing that. So I'm anticipating grabbing a friend of mine to take me around to go check them out and see if I like them or not. I don't know till I find out, but I'm anticipating something. Now, how you anticipate something has a whole lot of impact on the results that you're going to find out. Do you typically anticipate something expecting the worst? Or do you typically anticipate something looking forward to the outcome because you're open to whatever comes up? I find that if I'm more open to anticipation for what comes up, the more little surprises the universe lays at my feet for me to enjoy. And I really do enjoy that aspect of not being in control. Now, do I have a struggle not being in control? Oh, you bet. You bet. There are times with the old ego part of me wants to just snatch up control about everything and make it happen the way it'll satisfy my ego instead of satisfying my soul. And that's always a question I have to ask every time I go to do anything, whether it's anticipating, whether it's writing. Right now, I'm anticipating painting on this. See how funny that looks right now? But that's all going to eventually be grapevine. And I'm going to put some big old grapes on there so delicious you're going to want to walk up to that painting and take a bite of those grapes. But I'm anticipating the joy of putting all of that color together on the canvas. Do you feel the difference in anticipation instead of, oh, I got to go pick up the brush and oh, you can change everything on a dime if you decide you want to enjoy anticipation. Now, anticipation has a close cousin. I would say a first cousin. I call it celebration. This morning, I was on Facebook, and a friend of mine that I've known for years posted celebratory pictures of her family gathered together to celebrate her son's engagement and how much they loved the little girl he decided to marry. I don't have those kind of celebrations in my life anymore. I haven't been to anything that celebrates anything in a very long time. Have you? So I decided to go on a journey. Now, here comes anticipation. I'm going to go find some reasons to celebrate living every day. Could be a challenge I'm laying in front of me, but why not? Why not find a reason for this moment today to celebrate you? Say, I did that. Give yourself some credit, even if it's you finally finished unloading the dishwasher. I did that. We need to start bringing celebration and anticipation back into our everyday lives. They should not be set aside just for something big and unusual. I think anticipation and celebration together provide us a strong platform or foundation for another level of enjoyment of retirement. Not just the mundacity of, oh, I got to go fold the clothes, but how about, oh, I'm going to find a different way to organize my thoughts when I'm folding the clothes. Now, how can I do that? And there comes anticipation. And when you're done with it, you put it away in a different way. There comes celebration. Got that done? Take it off the list. Yay, me. How many of you actually give yourself credit for getting something done on the list? If you keep a list. I don't keep a list. Many people do. I used to be a list keeper. I found that list drove my day, and I would prefer for my soul to drive my day. And my soul leads me in the direction I need to go. Sometimes I walk past the laundry basket and sometimes I don't, because it just depends on what the little nuggets of information my soul wants to give me at any time. I see some friends here today. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. So here's what I want to wrap up with just real quick. Go find a reason to anticipate something good. Not necessarily the worst thing, but something you look forward to. I use the example of the bathtub for myself because it's a big deal to me to finally have a bathtub after not having one for 5 years. So I'm like anticipating my afternoon soak, which has done marvels for my back and for my sleep. I'm looking at how to make it even better. And then I'll celebrate the fact that I did it. I got out of it and how good I feel because I gave myself that gift. And I'll say, way to go, Monica. And I'll do one of these because there's nobody else here to do it, sugar. And if you're living alone in retirement, you have to do your own anticipation. You have to do your own celebration of you. And why is that important? Because you live, because you breathe, because you're here, because you don't have to earn worthiness. You are just here. And that's all it takes. But you know what? It takes a lot more to enjoy anticipation and anticipation and celebration. When you add those to the mix of any day, it gets a whole lot better all the way around. I hope you've enjoyed this moment with Monica this Monday morning. So let's see how things go. Go have an anticipatory and celebratory day for yourself, because you know what? We retire by rewiring how we think about retirement. I love you all dearly. Have a great day. Later, Gator.